Hey y'all, iRick Guy here, and I'm finally getting around to responding to 9er. And 9er, I appreciate your viewership. I deeply appreciate your emails and your super chats. It's super nice. Now, before we get started, I am going to do a wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Control, the JJ Master Control. So I'm going to read an email from 9er. It says, this is 9er, he said, just had to show you the latest arrival as no one I know gives a hoot about wristwatches. Same here, except Archibald Chesterfield III, AC3, our pontiff. Nobody knows more about wristwatches than he does, and I mean, that's a fact. Is PF, Parmigiani Fleurier, a railworthy or are they Trinity level? Are they going somewhere with the new CEO at the helm? Man, I don't know. I will say this, after weeks of research, Google, talking to people, forums, and YouTube, I'd at least go out on a limb and say that in my humble opinion, PF, of Parmigiani Fleurier, is the new watchmaker's watchmaker. Whoa! Sorry, JLC. Jaeger-LeCoultre. Jaeger-LeCoultre. We'll always love and respect you, but watch out. So looking at some images here that 9er was so kind to share with his email, the exhibition case back looks really nice. It looks like a gold rotor, which, you know, is an indication of high horology. Bracelet looks nice. The dial is actually pretty impressive. You've got three registers, and curiously enough, the date, if you'll notice the date window, it's not a continuous window. It has a divider between the numbers. And in the photo here that 9er was so kind to send, this is Parmigiani Fleurier 07, so it's the 7th of the month when he sent that. And you can look at the detail. The dial itself has a very nice finishing. I will call it, looking at the bezel, you've got that coin type edge. It's a very unique look. Now if you're looking at a Panda, and by the way, if you're looking at a Panda, check out my raccoon videos, but this right here I would call a Panda dial. And Parmigiani, however you pronounce it. Now, curiously enough, 9er was smart enough to get one of the classic Parmigianis. And that's important because if you look at the newer references of Parmigiani Fleurier, they have simple PF, Papa Foxtrot, on the dial. So this right here is a potentially a collectible item. The fact that it is a Panda dial, that it is a high-end watchmaker, this right here, I think you made an excellent acquisition with this timepiece. Now, you know, as you kind of prefaced within your email, this is not necessarily a timepiece for everyone, because a lot of people that don't know wristwatches, you know, all they know is Rolex, and maybe they know Omega, and maybe they know Breitling. But to go with a Parmigiani, they're like, would you like a pepperoni and breadsticks with that? I mean, that's kind of the emotion that you're sparking when you talk to people and you say the word Parmigiani Fleurier. They're like, what in the world is that? I will tell you, one of my authorized dealers in the United States Virgin Islands, actually, when I bought this Jaeger-LeCoultre, they were trying to steer me towards Parmigiani Fleurier, and I didn't know it at the time, but I kind of guessed that they were probably not going to be an authorized dealer for that manufacturer much longer, and they were trying to sell new old stock, which was the case. Not that that would have been a bad thing, but at the time they were trying to offer me a different Parmigiani reference, and I wasn't really that impressed with it. I think your choice, I will call it the Panda Parmigiani. I think your choice with the Panda Parmigiani, the primary dial being white, and the registers being black, I think you made a really good decision. I think it looks really good. It's a unique design. This is not something like a Zenith that's trying to be a, in my opinion, nothing wrong with Zenith. I mean, they make an incredible watch, but they look very similar to a Daytona. This wristwatch is not trying to be a Daytona. It's not trying to be a Chuda or a Tuda. It's not trying to be that. It's got its own identity. Same with the bracelet. When you look at the bracelet on this, and congratulations for going on stainless, always, if a wristwatch has a stainless bracelet as an option, always buy it from the authorized dealer, the gray market, with the stainless bracelet, because you can always add an aftermarket leather, and on this you wouldn't want to use rubber, but you could also, you know, always add a rubber strap on the secondary market. That's easy to do, but a bracelet, you probably want to get OEM, so you made the right decision with that. I think the you know, time will tell with this piece. You know, how durable is it? Ultimately, you're going to get scratches. You should get scratches. I cannot stand people that purchase a wristwatch and, man, I can't get it scratched or whatever. Dude, wear it. Enjoy it. My Omega Seamaster 300M, my first real wristwatch, in my opinion, is scratched to heck and back, and that's fine. And so is my Rolex Submariner. And so are my other timepieces. I mean, my Panerai PAM 112 is banged to heck and back. But that's how you're supposed to do it. I mean, if you're gonna buy a wristwatch, you need to enjoy it. So I think with this, one thing you didn't mention, and I'll have to research, is water resistance. I mean, looking at this, noticing that it does not have screw-down pushers, I would not take this near the water. Not saying it couldn't handle it, but I wouldn't risk it, especially with a high horology timepiece like this. But I think it looks really good. It's unique. I would say it punches way above the Chuda Chrono, which I enjoy my Tudor Chrono, but I look at it as more of a tool watch. This right here, I would say this would kind of be like a blend between Rolex and Patek Philippe, except it's a brand that, you know, a manufacturer that is lesser heard of. And that's, I think from your previous email, that's kind of what you were going for. I mean, a lot of people with wristwatches, you know, if it's not Rolex, they don't want to buy it because people, you know, they're buying it for the wrong reasons. With you, at least the take I got from your previous email is that you were looking for an exceptional timepiece, but you did your due diligence. I mean, this was not, you didn't just go to a dealer and get sold on this. I mean, you know, you did your exhaustive due diligence. Obviously, you're an individual of means. You know, money is not an object, which is great, and you went with something that has a unique identity, but it's not something that's unique from the standpoint that people didn't want to buy it and it was just sitting in the case and nobody wanted to buy it. What you got, in my opinion, is an exceptional timepiece, something that is less common in the wild than a Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Rolex, etc., Vacheron. But you've got something that is high horology. You know, could this be a future classic? Could this become a future classic? And, you know, the fact, like I mentioned earlier, that it doesn't say PF on the dial, it says Parmigiani Fleurier, or however you say it, that's something that, at least for now, is discontinued. They're not, you know, they're not releasing new timepieces with, to my knowledge, they're not releasing that with the manufacturer's full name on the dial. So I think you've done it right. And obviously you've got other wristwatches, so this isn't something you're going to swim in. You know, you go to a party, it's like, hey man, want to jump in the pool? Want to jump in the hot tub, dude? Want to jump in the ocean? Want to jump off the yacht? No. If you're going to do that, you'll wear something else. You'll wear a proper dive watch. But, you know, just to wear around, have something unique, walk in most anywhere. If you ever run into a situation where you walk into a restaurant or a bar or anywhere for that matter, and you find somebody that's wearing the same timepiece, that is going to be an odd experience. Actually, it's a conversation starter. You know, if you ever run into anybody that's wearing the same timepiece, you know, you've got to immediately, you've got to, you know, not make them feel awkward, but you just got to say, hey, is that Parmigiani Fleurier reference blah, 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 and then you show them your wrist, and it's like, dude, it's like, how did how did you find that? You know, and you know, every I'm gonna put this phone over here, man. You know, every wristwatch has a story. You know, part of the thrill of a wristwatch, including this one, is the hunt. You know, the acquisition is kind of the finish, but the hunt is one of the most important aspects. This particular wristwatch, to kind of step away from Parmigiani Fleurier, this is the wristwatch, like I mentioned. That's why I'm wearing it tonight. When I bought this Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Control at my authorized dealer in St. Thomas, they I'd been in touch with my sales associate down there. Now, I was very specific about what I wanted, and obviously I got exactly what I wanted. But you know, he had mentioned Parmigiani. I mean, ultimately they were going to discontinue being an authorized dealer for Parmigiani, and I don't mean that in an insulting way, but he was offering it to me in the sense that he could deeply discount because they were no longer going to carry that manufacturer. So I could have gotten a really good deal, but they didn't have what you had. Had they had the reference that you have rather, that could have been a different story. You know, but at that point in time, you know, I had everything in motion for my Jaeger-LeCoultre because I wanted high horology, but I didn't want to go, you know, with the mainstream Trinity. I didn't want to go with Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constantin. I didn't want to go with that. I wanted to go with something that was, you know, to the point you made within your email earlier, something that's unique, and that's why I went with stainless. I went with the stainless bracelet. I mean, most of the time, you're going to see a Master Control on a leather strap, which it looks great, but I wanted that unique and less common in the wild identity. So, like your Parmigiani, this is something that I can wear that most anywhere I go, I'm not going to see anybody else with the same timepiece on. And if I do, they're probably not going to have it on the bracelet. And if they do, it's probably not the 40 millimeter. This is 40 millimeter. Current Jaeger-LeCoultre reference is 39 millimeters. So there's a lot of things as far as rarity is concerned, collectability is concerned, that in my opinion is great. And it's not about the resale. You know, with your Parmigiani, you're not concerned about resale. You wanted something unique, something you'll enjoy wearing, something that's timeless, something that you just don't see. And if you do, that's an ultimate conversation starter. Same case with me with the Master Control at a lesser level, because ultimately Jaeger-LeCoultre is more popular than Parmigiani when it comes to mainstream. I'm not saying it's a better wristwatch, and I think what you've done, even though, and I don't, let me see if George Cooney's out here. Hold on. George Cooney. Oh, there you are. Hey, what do you think about Parmigiani Fleurier? Okay. So actually, George Cooney, and you know, the last video, Niner, that I filmed for you, there was a raccoon in the tree, and we're talking about panda dials. I'm going to say what you did as far as a choice from me reading your emails, you commenting on Timepieces for Tomorrow videos, your super chats, all of that. I'll go as far as to say, now, I don't have a raccoon in the tree tonight. If I did, I would flip the camera over, but the raccoons are down there. So, actually, let me just get the camera and show you the raccoons. Hold on. Let me keep this real, man. Let's flip my viewfinder around, and then go over here, and you're going to see the raccoons. And we're going to ask for their personal opinion. See, there he is. Hey, George Cooney, do you think Parmigiani Fleurier, the Panda dial, is an acceptable choice? Right. Let's see, what's that reaction? He actually looks confused, but I think his confusion, his perceived confusion, is an acknowledgement of acceptance, and I think he confirms that you've made an excellent decision, and I think you've made an excellent decision. And Niner, part of the reason I waited to post this video response to your email is that I wanted to give you time to properly digest and potentially have buyer's remorse. Do you feel that you made a proper decision? Do you feel that it was a rushed decision? do you think you got what you wanted? And is there anything, comment below and tell me what you think. Is there anything about your new Parmigiani Fleurier awesome Panda wristwatch, awesome Panda chronograph? And is there anything about it that you regret? Do you have any form of buyer's remorse? I think you made a great decision. Now, I'm very thorough with all my opinions, and personal wristwatch collection and acquisition, I mean, I'm very, very picky, and everybody is. Everybody has their own preferences. Everybody has their own type of collection. I mean, do you want to go with different complications? Are you someone that only likes water resistant wristwatches? Are you someone that only likes dress watches? There's so many types of collectors, but I think what you've done is something unique, but you didn't step out and you didn't do something stupid. You did something that I feel is good. You have no desire. I mean, if that wristwatch on the secondary market never goes anywhere, who cares? You've still acquired a less common in the wild, high horology piece, in my opinion. So I think you've done a good job. If I didn't think you've done a good job, I would tell you, and I'd be very brutally honest. Probably not to the degree of Archibald Chesterfield III, AC3, our pontiff, as you know. But I would lecture you, and I would tell you that you had made a mistake. But I respect your decision. I think it's great. It looks great. And admittedly, I've never seen that wristwatch in the wild. And to take it a step further, I haven't seen that wristwatch. I've seen their common references like the Tonda and the, I forget. I mean, I've never really researched them that deeply. But they did not have that at my authorized dealer when I bought my JJ LeCoultre Master Control JJ LeCoultre. So, good job. 9er, great job. Thanks for being a very loyal viewer and contributor to our Skies Adventure channel. Your super chats are deeply appreciated. So are your emails. And any future acquisitions, questions, whatever, video ideas, shoot them my way and I'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. This one I intentionally waited because I wanted to share my honest and unfiltered opinions after you've hopefully had wrist time with that watch, and you can share your honest feedback below. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Thanks again for watching this video, and want to remind everyone, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. And if you've got a wristwatch or a wristwatch collection that you'd like for me to try to review within an upcoming video, send me an email, review@timepiecesfortomorrow.com. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.